Welcome back to Lock and Reload. This is a long overdue video that I've been wanting to do for a while, just because this is quite literally the first firearm I've ever had in my entire life. I've had this shotgun since I was about 12 years old. My birthday is in August 12th, so therefore this was my golden birthday gift from my father. And that happens to be the first year of deer hunting that I ever endured. Anyway, so without further ado, this is my Mossberg Model 500C. Basically, this is a youth configuration. When I was about 12 years old, I didn't have exactly what you call the longest length of pull. I had really short ass arms. So my father had to keep that in mind when he was shopping for shotguns for me. So he was on a limited budget, times are tight. I mean, even today, by today's standards, not everybody can afford, your nice Benellis and your really high-end 870s. So at the time when he purchased this one for, I think, a little under $200. I was doing some research on this 500C, and it's not necessarily a limited edition, but this shotgun is one of those shotguns that you don't see a whole lot of, just because of the engraving on it, the gold trigger. A lot of your newer Mossbergs, and even Mossbergs at this age, they didn't have, the stain isn't as dark as this one. It's the same wood, but the stain isn't nearly as dark, and a lot of your newer ones, or even the ones of this year, the stains are usually, or at least the clear coats, are a flat color, and this is a glossy, whether it be, the forearm for the pump, or right down to the stock. But anyway, so this is going to be my timely review on my 500C. The likes and dislikes about it, my POU, or in philosophy of use, why I own a 20 gauge shotgun, because that's what this thing's chambered in, is 20 gauge. Don't get me wrong, I love 12 gauge. 12 gauge is a really good cartridge, but then again, so is a 20 gauge. A lot of people don't give 20 gauge credit. Everybody is always after the 12 gauge. In all honesty, I love 12 gauge. I want one. I've shot in my dad's 870. It's not like I haven't shot in a 12 gauge. 12 gauges run awesome. But when it comes to deer hunting and whatnot, I honestly prefer a 20 gauge. Just my own personal preference. But anyways, so factory, when I got this shotgun, it quite literally came with this barrel, it is now designated as my bird barrel. It's a shorter barrel. I believe this one is 22 inches, either 22 or 18 inches. So it's a good grouse barrel, good rabbit barrel. But when it comes to like duck hunting, maybe even turkey hunting, it does fall short as far as length. So it is a little shorter barrel. The one thing I do like about Mossberg, we'll go into the likes and dislikes. The one thing I do like about Mossberg is the fact that they have a double bead system. Again, that comes down to personal preference. Some people like a single bead, some people like a double bead. I happen to be one of those people that actually like a double bead system. With this one, I have my brass rear bead, and then I have my white front bead. This one does come with venting for heat dissipation and whatnot. But all around, these barrels are really good design. But whether they're Remington 870s or Mossbergs, they make a high quality barrel. That being said, one of the innovations that Mossberg has and always has had is their mounting nut when you're putting the new barrel on. Everything's integrated to the barrel, so you don't have to worry about losing, again, essentially you don't have to worry about losing your nuts. Anyways, everything's integrated, so each barrel has their own nut that is stationary that just spins on the inside, which is really nice. 870s, on the other hand, they're great, except they lack that design. That nut actually comes out you could potentially lose that and whatnot. I don't know anybody that has, but there are idiots out there. They're all over the place. So this makes it more dumbified. So what I decided to do with that is I needed something for deer hunting. Not that this barrel's inaccurate, but for deer hunting at a longer range, I find this inadequate as far as a slug barrel. It is smoothbore. So to change the shotgun to another like is I went with a Mossberg fully rifled barrel, and this is ported at the end. It does have your standard rear and front sight. It is adjustable. The sights are actually made by a company called Williams. They're well renowned for sights in general, so it's a great company, and it shoots very well. I've shot in hundreds and hundreds of rounds of ammunition out of this. I've come to love this shotgun barrel is attuned to a Brennecke shotgun slug. I love Brennecke. Brennecke is great, and I've done everything. I've shot everything from sable rounds to the cheaper, less quality slugs and whatnot. But a long time ago, I started shooting Brenneckes, and there's always a better shotgun slug out there. But I decided to stick with Brennecke. In all honesty, your mileage and your yardage and your accuracy may vary. It all depends on the shooter. I can shoot anywhere from a 4 to 5 inch group up to a 6 inch group at 100 yards. And for a shotgun, that's pretty goddamn good. But back to likes. I digress. Back to likes. The one thing I love about Mossberg design, another thing that I love about Mossberg design is their safety features. And as you can see, they have a top tang safety versus your Remington 870s. They have a trigger safety essentially. This one has a top tang, so everything's right there. I love that design. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. I happen to be one of those people that like it. It's a comfortable shotgun for the most part. I don't shoot this shotgun a whole lot anymore until I change out the stock. There's nothing wrong with the stock, it's just a little short. It is what it is. So my recommendations with this shotgun is if you are a smaller person or somebody who's starting to shoot or getting involved with shooting, whether you're a woman, a small child, and you're getting involved with shooting, but a lot of full-length adult stocks are just a little too big for you, the shotgun is the way to go. They're inexpensive, they're good guns for the most part. That being said, we're going to go into some points that I dislike about the shotgun and the things that the Remington 870 has over this shotgun. First and foremost, for the most part, most Mossberg shotguns, whether they be your 500s or your 835s, have aluminum receivers. This one is chambered for not only 2 3/4, but it's also chambered in 3 inch. Generally, if a shotgun is chambered in 3 inch, it's also going to be chambered in 2 3/4. There are shotguns out there that are not only chambered for 3 inch, but they're also chambered for 3.5 inch. I'm not a huge fan of shooting 3.5 inch because that's just an ungodly snotty cartridge, and I don't really care to shoot it. Because as you all know, shooting shotguns are way different. Way different than shooting handgun rifles. It's a different kind of recoil. It's a different style of gun. It's not the same. A shotgun and rifle are two different worlds when it comes to firearms. So that's just a dislike. That is one of my likes that I do love about this shotgun, that is not only chambered in 3 inch, but it's chambered in 2 3/4. Again, your mileage may vary. It all depends on the quality of that particular shotgun that particular day. When it gets really cold out, this thing is a son of a bitch to chamber a cartridge. I don't know why. I've tried everything from dry lube to lithium grease to graphite to rem oil to 3-in-1 oil. They all work, kinda. This thing chambers really, really hard in the winter. And that's due to the fact that it has an aluminum receiver. Now, it does have a steel action. All like your bolt carrier and your bolt, they are steel. Very, very low quality steel, and that's the other thing I don't like about it. The receiver seems to be pretty adequate, but as far as the internal parts, I find them very poor. They're very cheap, that's why you spend very little on these shotguns, even brand new. I really don't care for the craftsmanship of the bolt and all the internals on it. I find it very cheap, chintzy, and subpar. Another thing that I don't care for is not the forearm itself, but the slide. After every shotgun wears, every shotgun's going to have a little play in the slide. But I've noticed Mossberg has a little bit more than others. A little bit more than I really care to endure. Not a huge fan of the slide operation. You know, it works like any standard pump action shotgun. But this particular one, again, your mileage may vary. You may have an outstanding shotgun. Maybe it's just mine. But I'm not a big fan of it. It's loose, it rattles, it is what it is. And there's not a whole lot I can do about that unless, you know, changing out all the OEM parts, getting new ones. That's about the only thing I can do. So I find that subpar and well below standards. But it comes down to POU, philosophy of use of this shotgun. If you're looking for an inexpensive shotgun that's going to function, and it's going to function adequately and pretty well, the Mossberg Model 500, whether it be the 500C, whether it be the Model 500G, whether it be youth, whether it be full-length stock, whether it be in pink, they're going to function, and they're going to function well. They are a great shotgun for the most part. But they're, again, like any other firearm, there's always a better firearm out there, and there's always a worse firearm out there. There are way better shotguns and way worse shotguns. I could list off a couple of them that are worse than Mossberg. But Mossberg always has been known for less than perfect shotguns. And this is just my mileage. You may love and adore Mossberg shotguns, but I, on the other hand, I believe an 870 is a little bit better. Coming from a guy who owns a Mossberg, I have vast experience with shooting shotguns in general. And I'm not one of those guys that likes to put out a review on a shotgun that I've never shot in, or dogging a shotgun that I don't have. But in all honesty, I own the Mossberg. It's a great functioning rifle, and if you're looking for the economic aspect, it is a great shotgun. It's going to work, and it's going to work well. Just don't know for how long. But it is what it is. So, that being said, this is my Mossberg Model 500C in youth in 20 gauge. This is Lock and Reload with Ryan. I hope this has been helpful. Catch you later.